We are here with St. Mary's softball player Andrea Hazel. Welcome, Andrea. How's the summer going?
Thank you. It's going really good. I apologize for the background. I'm actually at work right now. I have a marketing internship, so I've been pursuing marketing and doing a lot with advertising and establishing the brand at the company I work for. So it's been really busy, really fun. I work from 8 in the morning until 4:30. So in my downtime, I go to the gym usually after I have dinner, and then I go home and go to bed. So that's pretty much been my whole summer. So it's been fun.
Sounds like you're learning a lot, though, which is great. Do you get to train with your team at all during the summer, or is it mostly just your own workouts?
It's mostly just my own workouts. We have a summer packet to kind of give us, some guide to what we're supposed to do. But I love working out, and I work out 5 days a week. I'm like a fanatic. And so I tend to stray away from the packets just because it's solely for people who work out 3 times a week. And when I'm doing different body parts on different days, it's not really customizable for me, but my trainer knows that, and so he's actually made me like my own workout because I told him, I'm like, hey, can you customize this for someone who's doing it 5 days a week? And so I have one of the interns who stays, who makes sure I get to work out in the gym because he knows I work late and stuff, and so there's people in there that help me and are willing to work around it, so it's really nice.
That's great. All right,
Mhm.
let's talk about softball a little bit. Last year was softball's first season as part of the WCC. What was your kind of impression of being a part of the West Coast Conference last season?
It was a great experience, and it was really competitive. The competition is just, it's great. I think UOP was new to our conference, and they, have a great team. They put up a great competition, and it was good because a lot of our girls were freshmen last year, and so it was a big learning experience. And for us to come into the WCC as, we're still fresh and we're finally molding together as a team, and we still have 2 more years with this, pretty much with this group of people. And so I think it's really exciting, and it's good because we know what we're coming up against, and we have time to prepare ourselves and to get better. So it's been really, really great.
And you had a very strong season last year. What do you see as kind of the key to that, I don't want to say breakout season, but really strong season for you last year?
I think one of the biggest differences I made was really taking the time to think about things and think about where I am and where I want to be. I've said before, and this was something that I learned from my competitive coach was, you know, when you're at this level of competition, the physical ability to do things it's pretty much the same. It's pretty standard for everybody because we all made it to Division One. We're all in the same conference. We're working towards the same goal. And I think the people who stand out are the people who put in a little more thought into it and who really think about what they want to do and spend time thinking and internalizing and trying to strategize, okay, what did I do that worked for me, or what didn't work, and how can I change it? And what I've done, and this is so corny, but I want to say during the season, I would spend 20 minutes before a tournament, before I go to bed, and I would think about, what did I watch in video? What did the scouting reports say? What can I expect? What do my scouting reports say? What are people going to throw me? What can I expect? And so I try to use what I know and what information our coaches give us to really think about, what do I need to do as a player to make myself better and to help my team pursue what they need to do. And so I think that was one of the biggest things for me. I mean, because working out wise, it's always been the same, but when I put some more mental thought into it and really invested in it, that's when I saw a difference.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it seems to have definitely paid off for you. All right, it is the summer, so we're going to get into a little more fun questions just about you. It's the fun, loose conversation. It's summertime, so let's get to know you a little bit better. First of all, how did you start playing softball? How old were you?
I was 10 when I started playing softball. I started playing because my dad played slow pitch, and my cousins played, my older cousins, and so they were always talking about softball. And my cousin told me one time, she's like, yeah, I had 3 games in one day, and I was like, holy cow, that's so cool. Like, you played softball the whole entire day. That's awesome. And literally that one comment, I was like, I want to play softball. And so it was funny because on the last day of our Little League registration, I showed up late, and I was the last girl to try out. And I went in there and I knew nothing about softball besides the fact that my dad played and my cousins played, and that was all I really knew. And so I tried out and I made a team and I ended up making all-stars that year. And then after that, I went straight into competitive. And so, and then I loved it, so just stuck with it.
That's great. Did you play other sports as well, or was it just all softball?
No, I played volleyball as well. So I played competitive volleyball for a year, and I played all throughout high school. So.
And you are a catcher now. Did that start right away, or how did you become the catcher?
No, I actually used to be third base, and my coach, when I was playing competitive, told me I looked like a linebacker and that I should be catching. So he decided to try and throw me behind the plate and see, if it would work out, and it ended up just suiting me perfectly, and I love it. And now I'm like, I can't see myself at, doing anything else. I love catching. I love being involved. I love directing, and it's just totally suits my personality. I love it.
See, I'm impressed because I played softball for 12 years, and catcher was the one position I never played because I had bad knees and couldn't crouch down that long.
Yeah.
So I'm very impressed that you have taken on that position.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get into a little more just fun questions about you. What is your favorite movie?
I would have to say it's kind of a tie between, I'm like a Disney junkie, and so right now it's between like Frozen, and I just saw Maleficent in theaters when it came out, and I loved it. So those are like my two right now that I absolutely love. I love those movies.
Well, I haven't seen Maleficent yet, but I am definitely on the same page with you with
Frozen.
Frozen.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it, and I'm a nanny too, so I'm such a sucker for kid movies. I love them.
Yeah, I am too. What about your favorite song?
My favorite song, it would have to be Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. I love Tracy Chapman, and I love that song. So.
Nice. Growing up, you said we've actually talked a few of your jobs that you have. You've got an internship, you nanny. Growing up, did you have a job in high school?
Yes, I had 3 jobs in high school. I've always been, hardworking and, hated asking my mom for money. I wanted, to be able to support myself, and I didn't really want to ask her for anything. And I've always been really driven to, work. And so I worked at a diner called Perco's, which is in my hometown. It's just a small diner. I would work there like weekends in the morning. And then during like school nights, I was one of the head caterers at a steakhouse in my hometown called The Refuge. And I worked there for 2 years, I think, maybe 2.5 years, but I loved it. I loved working there. It was so much fun. And I also worked at Aeropostale for a little while, like seasonal. So it got me some retail experience. Not sure that it was particularly my favorite, but it was really good experience. And I find myself using the same things I learned being a salesperson at Aeropostale in my marketing job now. So it was a good experience.
Great. Sounds like you've been busy.
Yes.
What about favorite meal? Do you like to cook, or just favorite meal that maybe when you go out to eat or something like that?
I cook every night. I love cooking, and I believe that there is a lot that goes into cooking. I love to take the time to, put my energy into a meal and focus on it, and I just absolutely love cooking. I cook all the time. I make chicken. I make everything, and I love Mexican food. So I've learned how to make like Mexican cuisine, and it has been the best thing that I've ever done in my life because it's just been great. But I would have to say my favorite meal is macaroni and cheese. Whenever I have like a cheat meal, because I eat relatively healthy, but whenever, maybe once a month I'll have like a bowl of mac and cheese with like chicken, sausage, and broccoli in it, and it's like the best thing in the world. I love it. Anything with cheese I love.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay, what about any nicknames that you have or have had growing up?
Okay. So growing up, my great-grandparents are from Germany, and they both have very strong accents, and so they never could say my name right, and so they called me Andy, and that was kind of the name on my dad's family just knows me as Andy, and that's what they still call me to this day. And they also call me Pookers. which is really embarrassing. And I don't know where, I think my dad came up with the nickname when I was little, and it has just completely stuck. And when I was playing 16 and unders when I was like 13, my cousin was on that team, and she calls me Pookers. And then my uncle coached the team, and he calls me Pookers. So then my whole team was calling me Pookers, and it was so bizarre and so embarrassing. But they still call me that. And then now it's pretty much just been like Dre, or a lot of people call me like Baby Dre. Um, and yeah, I think that those are pretty much like the main ones.
Nice. All right, we won't call you Pookers for the rest of this little segment.
Thank you.
Let's see, what is one thing that most people wouldn't know about you? Like maybe your teammates and your family know, but the average person would not know about you.
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably, like, from what kind of perspective? From like other softball teams, or like at school, or anybody in general?
Like, do you have a hidden talent or skill or something, something interesting about yourself that average person that you meet wouldn't necessarily know right away?
Probably the fact that I love to cook. I think that it throws a lot of people off, especially because now with like restaurants and fast food, and being in college and being on a tight budget, it's really, and being crunched with time. Um, a lot of the the best solution a lot of the time is to eat out. And so, a lot of people don't cook, but I love to cook. And a lot of people, I grew up in a predominantly like Latino, culture, and a lot of people wouldn't peg me as the kind of person to, I don't know, be the way I am, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of hard to say, but probably cooking if I had to pick anything.
Do you think you'd want to go into some sort of career eventually with cooking, or is that not?
No, I don't think so. I
This is
think
my
it's,
hobby.
yeah, it's just something that I like to do for myself, and I take pride in making meals, and it's something that, you know, I like to share with people who I really care about. And my teammates always joke around me because I'm kind of like I'm one of those people who's always posting pictures of their food, and so my teammates are constantly like, "Oh my gosh, like you need to save me some," and stuff like that. So I can't bake though. I tried to make a batch of cookies, and I literally burnt every single one of them. So I
Baking is
stay away
hard.
from baking.
Baking is hard. Okay,
Yeah.
here's a fill in the blank question for you. My teammates would describe me as.
Intimidating.
All right. One more for you. What is your favorite thing about going to St. Mary's?
My favorite thing about going to St. Mary's, I would have to say, is how like how the community is. Like you really get to know your peers and your teachers, and that is so important because nowadays if you go to a state school, you most likely don't know your teacher and you don't know half the kids in your class. Whereas me, as an athlete, I guess I've really seen the benefit because when I'm traveling, it's like it's really important that you're communicating with your peers and with your teachers because those are the people who are going to help you when you can't be there. And if you don't really have anyone, then I mean, you kind of run out of things like, okay, well, you missed a day of class. Well, what are you going to do now? So it's really important, especially, to build relationships and stay on top of your schoolwork. It's like you really get the best out of an education. At least that's what I think because at St. Mary's, I know a lot of people have asked me, did you get other offers or, why did you choose St. Mary's? And honestly, it's because of the value of the education and, how much your teachers really do care about you. And I've found that that's probably the one thing that I'm so happy that St. Mary's gives us because, we're not just the number. We know our teachers and our teachers know who we are. And a lot of them, they require that you meet with them once or twice a semester, you know. So it's huge because you get to build these relationships. And my English teacher, when I was a freshman, I still see her all the time and, meet up with her, and she's just, it's great because you really get to know these people, and it's like it becomes a part of who you are, and it really shapes you. It's the best decision I've ever made going to St. Mary's.
All right. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great rest of your summer.
Thank you.